Right now.
Right now. Look at this. Boom. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Morning, Claire. Claire, can you help your brother out? I rode by this morning and I thought, man, I haven't heard anything about moving forward with a t-shirt. I need something. What's up, brothers? Happy Tuesday, Shane. What up, Ryan 840? Good morning.
I know. I need you to get it, okay?
You don't need me to get it. I need you to get it.
I know. That's what I meant to say.
I'm waiting.
I know.
Tuesday.
I've just been so busy lately.
What's up, brothers? Good morning. You?
Did you have a good birthday?
Robin Washit, Brian Munson, today on a Tuesday. Volleyball media days today, too. Started yesterday. Nebraska 11:30 to the podium today. Excellent 64. That's funny.
We know you're lying.
Yeah, a lot of Husker talk today. Olympics. And some stories we missed. We'll rock this.
Yeah, you missed.
What a great morning, by the way.
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't mean
that was electric.
You.
No, I was going to bring up what you were bringing up.
The morning weather. Wow.
In that basketball game.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk. That was fun to watch. We watched Australia-Serbia as we were preparing for the show today. And I used preparing very loosely.
Serbia. Did you notice how they wrote the name Serbia on the jerseys?
Yeah, I don't know how to. Claire knows. So what can I do?
He's just giving me crap.
She started this process for us when we're trying to see it through.
I just got to get him a repixelized photo.
Thanks, Ryan 840. Looking sharp. I did my glasses today.
Yeah, now you can finally see.
That's weird.
Do you see better with those on?
Possibly. Yes.
This is how he is anytime he...
You might be cool today, but more humid stage 3 swamp ass by noon predicted.
Stage 3 swamp ass.
It is humid out there. But I am not. There's no complaints.
Not at all.
Zero. I rolled over with the windows down this morning. Then it was a little drizzly rain.
Yeah, I know.
Horace Grants. Ernesto, what's up? Put the big goggles on. I heard an interesting thing about Gavin Griffiths about his glasses thing. Well, that's Robin about it. He told me about it. Apparently, the word on the street was they had a scrimmage yesterday. Yeah, I don't know, Shane. It's a great question. When's the last time there was a 25-degree difference in 24 hours? I love it. I have no idea. I'll take it this week, though.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Boom, 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 boom. Now tell me what you gonna do, but it ain't nowhere to run. My judgment comes for you.
Good morning, Lincoln, Nebraska. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Morning Hookup. Bill Hooks, Will Wilson. What up, Will Wilson?
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing, my brother. You and I just had a lot of fun. We're sitting here, and now you've been here early.
Yes.
So far this week, you're covering Moats in the news as he's, I don't know what he's doing. Who knows? But he's on vacation, hanging out. We appreciate him. But you and I got a chance to watch the pretty much all the fourth quarter of the Olympic basketball matchup of Serbia and Australia. Why would you watch that? Well, Jack McVay is on that team, folks, if you don't remember that, from Australia. And unfortunately, they fell in overtime, 95-90. Jack was a key part, man.
He had some big shots.
Some big shots. He had a couple threes on the stretch to keep that thing rolling. And unfortunately, Serbia, too much. The Joker, too much at the end. Too many turnovers by Australia if you're watching.
Yeah, by Patty Mills.
Patty Mills and Giddy.
And Josh Giddey.
Yeah, who both, by the way, don't I'm not dogging them because I think they had like 53 of their like 90.
Yeah.
Their backcourt was pretty good today. But we got to watch. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as we were yelling, Jack, get on the rock.
It was a good game.
It was. We kept getting pissed every time they would leave Jack in the corner without a shot.
Yeah. But it's cool to see him do his thing.
Yep.
Compared to when he left Nebraska, I mean, by his senior year, he was right in the bench.
Yeah, boy, yeah.
But
He's
now
had a
look
tough
at him.
time. Tough time. He's got that contract that he's got signed, so he'll make that move as well. He's a defensive liability, but he's fun to watch shoot. Quick trigger too.
Mm-hmm.
Quick trigger. So before we get to Robin Washer here coming up, we'll have Robin here in a few minutes. We'll have Brian Munson after that. We'll talk Olympics, stories that we missed, all the good stuff. Give me a dart update, man. I know you had darts last night. One, and did you get enough sleep? That's the biggest key because you couldn't do what you probably normally do and stay out a little later.
Yeah, I got some decent sleep. I'm afraid for tonight because I got to work kind of late.
Ooh.
But last night we started the tournament.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it was day one of the darts tournament.
The summer league tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because we're getting close to school and all. Yeah, okay.
And so me and my teammate Ryan, we were the 8th seed going into this thing.
8 seed. Okay. How many teams? 8 out of.
Ooh, I want to say like 24, maybe.
Okay. 8 out of 24. So you're in the top third.
Yeah. And we were playing this team, Zach and Joe. We played them earlier in the year, and they beat us.
Oh, so this is like redemption.
Yeah. So last night, we remember it's a 5-game set.
5-game set, yes.
So we lose the first one.
And you're like, oh, here we go.
We win the second
So
one.
you go 1-1. 1-1. You're like, all right, got a little momentum. Here we go.
We lose the third.
Down 1-2.
And then we win the fourth.
Oh, the deciding game 5, baby.
And, the whole
and
time.
what's the fifth game? What are we playing?
The
'Cause it goes back and forth, right, with different games?
Yeah. The fifth game is 701.
Okay.
All right.
That's where you march it down from 7.
That's right.
All right, here we go. See?
So
I've been listening.
in the the 4 games leading up to that one, I wasn't great. I was okay, not great.
You were steady.
Ryan, my
average.
teammate, really carried us in some of the crickets. And I don't know what came over me, but in this 701 game, I think I threw 12 darts.
Holy crap. That's it.
And 9 of those darts were bullseyes.
Oh my gosh. That's like only 4 rotations with 12 darts, right?
Yeah.
Just 3 darts per rotation.
Yes.
4 rotations. And you had 9 bullseyes.
I had 9 bullseyes. My average was 43.
Oh my gosh. I assume you won then.
We won.
Booyah. Moving on.
And we're moving on.
Survive in advance.
But I could not miss in that final game. Something came over me.
You have those moments where you just get up on each other's back,
And you know what? I even let out a tiger fist bump.
Oh, did you? No, you got to get into that one.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah,
Oh,
and I feel bad doing that because
nope.
you
You felt the moment. It
but
wasn't
these
showing
guys we're
anybody up.
playing are really nice. They're cool guys.
But they probably understood. You caught fire, and it just the emotions come pouring out.
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry guys, it's just what happens.
It felt so good. My adrenaline was through the roof.
I mean, it's not like you went up to him and fist pumping their.
No, I wasn't doing
Told
that.
you, so you don't do that.
No, I wasn't doing
It's
that.
fine. Or you didn't windmill it.
No.
You know?
So
I think you're fine.
it was a good day. We're moving
Good.
on to next week. Or actually, we won't play this Monday because we'll have a company party. So we'll play the week after
Thank
that.
God the company party is after Moats gets back for you.
I know. Gosh.
All right. A lot of stuff
Yeah.
we're going to We're going to get Robin Washer here coming up for a few moments. I think he is probably driving and headed down. I believe there's a press conference today. You'll get more as we're in the that swing of football right now where there's pressures every week where you'll get coach roll, players, and moving on. We at some point this week we'll get to Dylan's first time talking because he hit the podium. He sounded like an 18-year-old kid. See what Robin's doing. He's on the move. He's driving. Robin, wash it. He might already be there. I was with him yesterday.
Hi, you've reached Robin.
That's all right. Well, let's see if he calls us back. I'll send him a text. I was with him yesterday talking about it. He's like, yeah, I'll be good. I should be driving down. to the press conference.
Well, let's hope there's not some bad news that comes out of this press conference today.
Yeah, it's interesting. Again, as you know, we sit here and we get to hear items that get delivered but aren't official yet.
We hear murmurs.
Yeah. Right now there's a murmur of an injury.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all we're going with. We're not going to get into it until it's official.
Now, we will say it's not Dylan Raiola.
No. That's not
Don't
it.
freak out about that.
That's not it. No. Don't. The 12 people that are listening, relax.
Yeah. Because when you hear,
I'm sure like if you've ever watched the Dion thing about everybody gives Dion crap a lot. He deserves a lot of crap. But there's moments in that show that I watched of his little documentary thing because I was all about wanting to see what his leg and all the foot thing was about, which is crazy. But his part in practice where he's like, nobody touch the quarterbacks, nobody touch these guys, and stay away from Travis Hunter. I feel like that's what everybody has said.
Well,
Robin said, I'll call you in 3 minutes.
Okay.
I feel like that's what they've said about Dylan. Nobody touch Raiola. Stay away.
Well, remember last
like
year?
Stairs. You touch him, go.
Remember last season? There's video of they were making those videos, the documentaries and practices.
Yeah.
And one of the defensive linemen stepped on Jeff Sims' ankle.
Oh gosh, that had to be remember that. Yes.
And the rule was all right, all you guys get out. He kicked the whole defense out and brought in a new set. Yeah, I mean,
feel like that's what it's about.
You don't want to ruin that.
Don't touch him.
It's not that hard.
No, he's got a green jersey on.
Yeah.
But
also, I think Dylan is a tough kid.
Yeah, you got it. It's interesting because you're trying to stay healthy and get stuff going, but you also need to understand the physicality of what you're about to encounter. Right?
Yeah.
But you don't want anybody to get hurt. It's, we all know what it could look like if somebody gets hurt.
Right.
We
don't. Yeah, we've seen that.
Yeah. So you'll probably know more if there is an injury, if the murmurs we've heard are true. So we got Robin Washington, a couple minutes. Again, like I mentioned earlier, also it's Big Ten Volleyball Media Days.
Mm-hmm.
They started yesterday. Nebraska will hit the stage today at 11:30. I believe Lindsey Krause and Kennedy Orr are at the event with Coach John Cook. So be interested to see how it goes. So, they're going to be picked at the top again.
Yeah, well, they were. They officially were.
Loaded roster, 4 new teams in the phrase.
5.
4?
What? No, I was going to say 5 preseason all conference
acolytes. Yeah, for the team.
For Nebraska.
You've also you'd be interested to see what's talked about. Obviously, I wonder if they'll jump onto the Harper Murray situation that has happened, and we've known that she has now gotten her sentencing for right now, and Coach Cook has pretty much told you she'll be available for the first game, which is not that far away.
How far is that?
August 27th, I believe.
Wow.
I think they do that big round robin thing out in Louisville, don't they?
Yeah. That's going to be on ESPN, by the way.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a lot to look at and what this team looks like, how the rotation starts to go, because they're elite. They got some elite players right now.
Yeah, they got
you look at that. I mean, obviously, Batenhorst had moved on. We'll see her again, by the way, because she apparently, when I was reading, she's actually representing USC at Media Days.
Really?
Yes. But you added some big time additions. I mean, you added Landfair. Is it Taylor Landfair? She was a Big Ten Player of the Year, first team All American.
Minnesota, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Added her. Your middles are really good again when you look at the middles coming up, man, with Alec and Jackson and Blackwell at a St. I mean, this is some big time players. It's always big time expectations if you're a Nebraska volleyball player, right?
Oh, huge.
And your schedule is at the same level again. When you look at this schedule, it's a grind. I didn't think more. If you take football out of it, because you're adding 4 new teams into the Big Ten, I think if there's any sport that it is a Big Ten grind, it's volleyball. When you look at the number of conference games they play, how good that group is of collect, the power of the Big Ten is really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kick off they play Kentucky the 27th. And then they got either TCU or Oklahoma.
Yeah, sorry, your screen was frozen a little.
Oh, it was?
On the stream, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
And then they'll the day before, Friday, the day before first football game is when they'll play their first home match.
Yeah, and unlike basketball, there's no conference tournament, so it's a longer conference schedule.
Yes. Very long, very long. So, all right, let's get to it. I assume that we've got the great Robin Washit.
I'm here.
What up, Robin Washit? How are you?
Sorry about that, fellas. I was getting out the door and had to get babysitter squared away. So it was just about 5 minutes of pure chaos in my house that I didn't want to expose your listeners to.
That's all right. We totally understand. You're heading down to, I believe, the presser. I think they'll have. We're back in the flow of football pressers.
Yep, today. So it's today, and then after Friday's practice, and then Saturday. So it's Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. Last week and this week, and we'll see kind of what the week 3 of camp holds. They haven't announced that yet, but today we get our first introduction to John Butler, the defensive backs coach. So that's kind of the story of the day. And then Terrence Knighton is going to talk, and then we'll see what players show up. But Butler is going to be the story of the day with his official debut to the big red bubble of Nebraska media.
Yeah, that'll be awesome to see. Robin, I want to ask you before, we're going to talk hoops coming up real quick, but I want to ask you, because you and I kind of saw this and talked about it a little bit yesterday, what in the Daniel Jones is going on? Like, this dude, like, overnight could grow facial hair, and he wants to fight.
Yep. So the Giants Twitter, which I'm fully invested in, have now started referring to him as Dan. He's not Danny or Daniel, he's Dan, with his beard and picking fights with defensive linemen. Like, that's a guy named, only the guy named Dan Jones can pull stuff like that off. So it's a new era. We'll see what that means as far as being a football player, but as far as looking tougher and acting tougher, Dan Jones is in full effect.
Yeah, how high are the expectations for him this year? Because you're paying him a lot of money. Is it like a make or break year this year for Dan?
Depends on who you ask. Most Giants fans have already eliminated him from next year's roster, and this season's just a formality to see what draft pick we get. But if you ask John Mara, our owner, and then maybe even Joe Shane, our GM, they think that they think a lot higher of him than most other people. So we'll see. They invested a bunch in the O-line. They got a ton of receivers that should give them very little excuse to do significantly better. But I'll believe it when I see it.
Again, we're speaking to Robin Wash at HuskerOnline.com. Robin, hoops, man, where are we at with hoops right now? I know they're getting ready to conclude all the summer activities. Kind of give us a little update, man. I'm hearing about they had a little scrimmage put together, maybe, and some shooters galore around.
Yeah, so they're in the final week of summer workouts. The phase, or I guess session 2 of their summer workouts. Like I said, I think ends today with their last team workout. And then they're going to get a few weeks off, come back for the start of the fall semester. And then I believe official practices start in early September. So we'll get a little bit of a break here starting tomorrow. Then get kind of settled in with classes. That's when Berke Bjornfjell is going to arrive in campus finally. And they'll finally have their whole team together in Lincoln for the first time. And then, they'll do like strength conditioning, stuff like that. But official practices start, I believe, the first week, maybe first weekend of September. So right around the corner for that to get rolling here. And like I said, they're putting the finishing touches on the summer today, and then it's onward to the fall.
Robin, I know there's been a few guys dealing with some injuries this summer. Do you have any idea if, are they all planning on being healthy by the start of the season?
Yeah, Gavin Griffiths, he had a procedure done on his wrist and ended up missing the last 2 weeks of summer conditioning, but he's fully expected to be 100% for the start of fall practices. Braxton Mia has been in and out of practice, but Bill, I forgot to even answer your question about the scrimmage. He did participate. They had a big scrimmage yesterday, and he did participate, and by all accounts, looked pretty darn good in the process. So I think they're just being careful with him. He played most of last season with a broken thumb, and so they're just making sure that that's fully healed without any setbacks. So nothing significant there. They're just being cautious with him, and like I said, he's going live in their full team scrimmage. So I'd say that that's pretty promising as far as his recovery. Braden Frager is still coming back off an off-season wrist procedure that he had done. He's practicing. I don't know if he's like full go yet, but he's made a ton of gains with his just strength. I mean, you look at his upper body, he looks like he's put on some pounds. And I know earlier this summer, Juwan Gary said that Braden put on 20 pounds of muscle. So, I mean, he's got that type of frame, which that's not overly surprising. But it's good to see him kind of make those gains, even with the limitations that wrist has caused him a little bit. So beyond that, I think they're pretty healthy. I don't think there's really anything overly pressing beyond that. Like I said, the big one is Griffiths, and not any concerns about his availability for fall practices. And then they're just being careful with Braxton.
Hey, Robin, also talk about, I mean, obviously the team is gelling. They got a few guys still to get to there, but also about the number of former Huskers that have been back at practice, and Fred opening the doors for those guys. And I guess no one other better to lead the mayor of alumni than Henry T. Buchanan.
Oh yeah. He's become the president of the Nebraska Basketball Alumni Association, I think. So it's just the work that he's put in. So, and that's, it's a big deal. Like, people talk so much about like football and how important it is to have all those Husker greats come around and be around. Well, I think it's the exact same thing for basketball. I mean, even though there might not be the history of success, when you have guys that have been in the program and, have seen what playing at Nebraska can do for you beyond just like your playing career. Like, a lot of these guys, they're known for the rest of their lives, even if they never won a tournament game, like just because of how different the fan base at Nebraska is. And I think when you have guys like that around these players that are kind of hammering home that message of, what opportunity they have here, not only just with their time as Huskers, but after their college careers wrap up, I think that's really important to truly kind of embrace some of the best positives that this program has. So yeah, Henry T's been critical in that. I know this last year when they did their the reunion for the 92 Big Eight championship team, Henry T was as involved as anybody in like convincing guys to come back and make sure they got as good of a turnout as possible for that. And he's not the only one. You got guys like Chubbuck's around a lot. Jason DeRusso was just in town on Monday checking things out. He's been playing out in the Netherlands, so he's back in the States, and one of his first stops was to Lincoln to check out his old stopping ground. So I think that's really cool, and I think it's really important to kind of, like I said, build an appreciation for the opportunities these current players have.
We're talking to Robin Washut. Okay, Robin, I'm so proud of this next question. We were watching Jack McVeigh against Serbia. Unfortunately, Australia lost and they're eliminated. Now he has a 2-way contract with Houston, and Casey has an Exhibit 10 contract with Indiana. Now, between those two, which one do you think has a better chance of making it happen in the NBA?
Well, Jack's got a little bit of advantage in that he's 6'8", 6'9", whatever you want to call it. Like, so he's got an actual NBA frame, where what's the biggest knock on Casey? It's that he's too small. So that in itself, I think lends probably Jack to just being able to stand a little bit bigger of a chance. But, Casey's Casey, and people have tried to write him off for a long time now, and all he does is continue to exceed expectations. And so I think that the thing to know about the Pacers is that, their front office, as you might expect, is still really tight with Fred Hoiberg, and he knows a lot of people over there. And so they've played very close attention to Nebraska and to Casey. And I think that they took him with the understanding of what he could do in their system. And so much of NBA success, professional sports success, is being in the right situation and being in a system that utilizes your strengths and doesn't try to, square peg, round hole you. So I think that's going to help Casey in a big way, to where the Pacers, they were his lone pre-draft workout 2 years ago, and he lit it up. They have a little bell that if you hit 23 pointers during the workout, you get to ring the bell. Well, Casey hit like 22 and got to go ring that bell. So they've known about him for a long time, and they've been watching him for a long time, and they went out and actively sought him out despite him not even participating in the summer league, and gave him that Exhibit 10 contract. So he's a long way to go to prove he can hold up at the professional level. But if there was a situation that's going to give him the best path to doing that, it's probably the Indiana Pacers.
Rob, before we get you out of here, man, the Olympics continue as they're moving right along. Have you had a favorite Olympic moment yet, or a sport you can't quit watching?
Oh, I haven't really dialed in too much to like the other events. I kind of mostly just watch the recaps or like follow it on Twitter, but I have been dialed in, as you might expect, to the men's basketball team. And I went in there with my doubts, especially with them like talking about how they might be even better than the 92 Dream Team. I'm still not ready to go there yet, just for my own personal biases, but man, they're fun to watch. Like, that is some of the best basketball you will ever see in your life, is watching those guys play. And credit to Steve Kerr and Sharon Liu and those guys that put together a roster that's actually a team and not just a collection of all-star individuals. They play together. They have role guys. They have players that are willing to do the dirty work. And we talked about this the other day, Bill, where LeBron is kind of that X factor to where like he might not be putting up massive scoring numbers, but like when times start to get a little shaky and the game maybe starts to swing the other way, Captain America, as they say, steps up and takes the game over and gets the game back under control. And so, like, from just a pure basketball purist standpoint, I mean, they're getting like 28 assists on 35 made shots. I think it's incredible just the level of team basketball being played and the hockey line changes that they make, where you've got an all-star starting five replacing an all-star starting five. I think people hopefully can appreciate, if you're a basketball fan, the level that the sport is being played with this particular group. And I think they play here in a little bit against Brazil. So if you got the chance to tune in and watch them, I would highly suggest it, because they don't get much better than that.
Yep, 2:30 tip, I believe, local time coming up. So, Robin, man, we appreciate your time as always, my friend. Take care of yourself. We'll talk to you real soon.
Sounds good, my man. See you.
Robin Wash at HuskerOnline.com. Great stuff from Robin as we move through and closer to football and basketball, man. Keep up with those guys. So let's take a break. We come back. We'll have Husker Online's Brian Munson.
More next on the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Good stuff. Boy, Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Robin making us look good all the time.
It's a big get.
Yeah, he's gonna. I know we'll talk about the scrimmage tomorrow with T, because T was there, as you would know, guess. T was at the scrimmage. Get his take on that and all the good insights. I heard about it yesterday. I was with T yesterday afternoon. I don't want to burst the bubble though. Well, I saw an email from you.
Well, Claire is actually helping us out.
Oh. Thanks, Claire. But it wants tea times today. Everybody, I can't imagine golf courses today with the weather. Just absolutely. I'm looking at the tee sheet over at Wilderness.
Oh, yeah.
With the weather. I think everybody's trying to play. Boy, what a day. What a day. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Brian Munson coming up. I'm sure he's not busy.
No way.
But it's dead right now, so there's a lot of. They'll be coming out of the gate pretty quick, though.
Yeah. I love it when, you know how recruits do, they say, I received an offer from Nebraska, and then they add a few photos
Yeah.
of Nebraska stuff. I always find it funny when recruits like post like this guy Kendra Harrison.
Okay.
His 2 photos is the N, the logo, and then a picture of Bo Pelini.
I know. That's I'm glad you brought that's so funny. Like, do they know?
I'm sure they do.
Do they know though? Do they know though? Do they really know?
Probably not.
Yeah, everybody. My boys are like, can we get tea times? All right, coming up. Boy, Brian Munson, Storage and Miss. There's a lot of Olympic stuff going on too. Baseball stuff, a record tied by a team. Yikes. Camps, all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah, man, right for it. Love me some Wash It. Totally buying into this year's club. Next month in dominance with the coverage. Morning coverage, the best. Let's go. Welcome back in the morning hookup. Boy, that I don't know what it is, but the music itself just gets you moving, doesn't it? And then you hear the voice of our next guest, and it's like, man, nothing can be bad. It's Brian Munson, hustleline.com. Brian, what's good, my friend?
It's not bad because we're talking about Nebraska football in a way that indicates that we are very close to the start of the season, and we're practicing. And and there's potentially some good recruiting news on the way too. So let's all get into that a little bit, okay?
Oh, was that a little
I'm
insight?
intrigued.
That's man, in the business that'd be like a hanger, like it's like an intro there for us.
Well, in the radio business,
I know.
we call that a tease.
Tease.
Yeah.
Major one of those. Totally.
Well, you know what else is awesome is the fact that we're going to get to that. A lot of recruiting. I know you guys aren't busy right now. It's dad. I'm just kidding. But hey, when I look at it, we've got football upon us. We had a Thursday night game, NFL game, and it's starting to kick off. And how you feeling about those Buffalo Bills? Right now, I'm looking at it. They're really close in odds. They're second in their division with a chance to win it coming off the board. There's a team ahead of them right now that's has a little bit better odds.
Yeah, and I imagine it's the Dolphins, right?
No. Right now, I am looking at the Jets.
Get out of town.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah, I got the Jets. What I'm looking at, the Jets at plus 180, Bills and Dolphins plus 190, and then the Patriots plus 2,100.
Yeah, that one's not going to happen, Pats fans. And being a longtime AFC East divisional opponent of your Patriots and watching you run over us for 20 some odd years, I'm fine with it to give it back to you for a while. So let's just put that there. I feel better about things. I mean, it's a little unnerving, to not return 5 of your 6 players that caught touchdown passes last year. But they've done it with a few experienced guys, and of course Keon Coleman looks like he's pretty legit. Like, I've watched some video of him already. Like, his radius is pretty insane. It's not Larry Fitzgerald, but it's very good. Like, he catches the ball in a very wide radius. I think he's one of those guys that people kind of slept on from the draft. I don't think he ran really a great 40, but like in all the other exercises where they're looking at like velocity and they're looking at miles per hour and what they're running, he ran, over 20 miles an hour on multiple drills, and I think that's really what what Buffalo was really focused on there, and I think that the chemistry seems to be right already between he and Josh Allen, so that's a good thing. But and I think that also there's been some really good news about Von Miller. Looks like he's regaining some of his old form. That's going to be needed. Matt Milano returned, so yeah, I think things are. I'm optimistic about the Buffalo Bills this season. Let's just put it that way. And trust me, if this one goes and wheels fall off by like week 6, even though I was ready to kind of bang that drum last year.
Oh, you did. You didn't kind of.
Yeah.
You did.
But if that happens again this year, you can almost kind of figure that it's going to get kind of blown apart, in some places. There's going to be some returning components, you Kincaid and Allen and Cook and a couple other guys, but you're making some massive wholesale changes, potentially up front, possibly on the defense too.
We're talking to Brian Munson. Brian, as we go through fall practice, what are some storylines that you personally are following?
I think the number one right now, and everybody's kind of, they're chatting about it, and they don't really, there's not really a great understanding about it either, is just the health of the offensive line. I think everybody's concern is that, Nebraska is legitimately, one injury away from, and they've got some injury prone dudes, that are playing, where, Prohaska and Corcoran, Lutoski's been beat up here a little bit. And, I think that you're always kind of paying attention to that. I mean, I don't think Nebraska, they have depth, but I don't think they have real kind of experience, and they've got talent, I think, at some of those second and third stringers, but they don't have experience either. So I just feel like Nebraska needs to come out of fall camp healthy, particularly on the offensive line. I'm going to watch the rotation on the running backs too. I'm pretty interested to see how that's been kind of taking place with Emmett Johnson and Ramir and Gabe and obviously Dante, and then working in some Quentin. They've got some dudes back there. They have some guys, I think, that can really take some pressure, off of potentially, having a true freshman out there as a quarterback. If you've got some strengths, particularly, within your offensive line to be able to run the football confidently, you take some pressure off of, putting a guy that's going to be in third and intermediate to third and long, 2 out of every 3 series. If you can get that to where he can just manage the drives versus needing to make a play every single time he gets into the third down situation, I think you can really then kind of cultivate and manage the growth of Raiola if he's going to be your starter to kind of come out to kind of bring out the season. But I think also you're looking at, how that secondary is going to kind of the last pieces there. It looks, they got some guys that are dinged up, and how are they going to kind of continue to kind of, what's that going to look like a little bit more? And, I think that what I think everybody's excited about is that Nebraska seems to have a lot of playmakers on the offensive side of the football, from the tight ends to, 5 or 6 deep at wide receiver. And I think that that's going to be a lot of fun. I don't think they had those kinds of options last year when they started out the season.
Again, we're speaking to Brian Monson, HuskerLine.com. Brian, well, we have to ask. I mean, we are 11 days away from a big announcement that has Nebraska in the Final Four, I'd say, for I'd say a big-time prospect on that O-line. Any feeling either way right now with Mr. Sanders, or do I need to fly back home and talk to this kid because he's going to make an announcement from my hometown?
Yeah, you might want to make that flight, dude. Go ahead and get yourself a ticket booked and head on back, because I think everybody was really optimistic, and I think everybody was really pumped up to have this opportunity to play a role. Particularly where Dylan was kind of enlisting the help of Husker Nation to kind of come out and, hey, make sure that, David knows that you're here, and that that David is here, and he knows that. And you saw the reaction of him and his family, and maybe the smaller spaces of being in the airport to showing up outside the complex and having a few hundred fans kind of be outside there to kind of welcome you in. It looks like it's still a top 4. There was an article that was released earlier this week by On3. Nothing new in terms of like how was the last visit to Nebraska, etc. Still more hinging on they have Raiola. They should have top guys like me, blocking for them. And I still kind of feel like, it's probably looking like he's not going to end up at Nebraska, which is really deflating just because I think that this is one of those guys, unfortunately, as we kind of go back and take a look at it, that had Nebraska had Raiola in the boat sooner in the 2024 class, let's say that he was there the whole entire season or part of it or whatever, and you would have had a chance maybe to have Sanders come in and take a visit last year, for a game. And maybe you get him back in the spring one time for the junior day or for a practice, and then you get him for an official visit, and then you get him for the July date. Now you're talking about 4 or 5 trips to Lincoln. You're getting used to the travel time. You're getting used to what's kind of expected, of you to kind of move between place to place, what it's like to be that far away from your home, etc. As opposed to, this is our second time here. Yeah, we
lose him.
Brian, are you there? Second day in a row.
Oh man, we'll get him back. Sorry, man. He was rolling. Is it just the phones going out on us?
I don't know.
We'll get more effort Brian back here real shortly. Oh man, dialing the number and getting them back. It'll be interesting. I hope it's all. No good.
Hold on. Here he is.
There he is. Brian, you back? There you go.
Did you guys hear that too?
What happened?
I don't know. I started hearing something on like my end of my phone. It's like my Bluetooth picked up or something. I have no idea.
That's weird.
So anyway, I was just going to finish up with this. Mr. Sanders, it would have been great to have him 4 or 5 times on campus. And I think Nebraska is still working out of a deficit despite all the positives that came out of, what happened last week. So really would surprise me, I think, at this point, if he chose Nebraska over the other 3 schools.
Okay, so with that being said, when you came on, you said that some good recruiting news is on its way. If that's not it, then what is it?
Dang it.
Well, I'm starting to feel like we're getting close to maybe a certain flip on a receiver that's committed to Oregon. So Isaiah Mosey is going to be a name to kind of start tracking here, I think, a little bit. Maybe between now and next week, maybe end of next week. I just don't feel like this one's going to carry out much longer. I think if it's going to happen for Nebraska, it's going to happen here soon. It's either going to be he's flipping or he's solidly going to Oregon, and I just don't feel like that the odds are, too great for that to happen, considering that, Dad is now at Nebraska. He loves the family vibe that Matt Rule has, going on there in Lincoln. And now that Pops is there with him, I think that it kind of contributes to that. I think it's going to be really difficult, given the circumstances now. I think it was difficult before for him to kind of look past Nebraska. I think Nebraska's in a really good spot. So maybe here in the next week or two, I think Nebraska's going to get some good news there and work that flip on a 4-star wide receiver. Man, I tell you what, I watched his film last night again, and statistically, that guy tore it up last year. Like 74 catches, averaging, I don't even know, 14, 15 yards a catch. Maybe it was more than that. Like over his career, it was really astounding to kind of go out there and take a look and see what he had for his numbers. So, I think Nebraska ends up flipping him at some point here in the next week or two.
Brian, well, obviously, when this thing opens back up, talk about some of the guys. I know we're talking about a lot of 26 kids and things like that, but when it opens back up, season gets going, give us some key dates and some key individuals that'll be making their way to Lincoln.
Yeah, well, I mean, out of all the 2026 guys that I spoke with from the weekend before, it seems very obvious that several of them will be back, for the Colorado game. The Colorado game is right now, it is circled. And you have guys that are coming back like Jaden McGregory and Caden Cobbs and JJ Dunnigan, Hudson Parliament. There are a lot of guys that are talking about getting back that weekend. It's going to be an enormous weekend, but I think Nebraska has a few weeks, as they kind of start out the season, including Northern Iowa, where you're even like talking about anything like 2:30 on. Makes it at least for like driving radius guys. Like if you got to go to practice that morning, and get a lift in and watch some video, maybe you get cut loose by 10 o'clock. Well, you can make it to Nebraska within, 2 or 3 hours, and you can be there in time to kind of get into the stadium before the game and then go get to your seat. So, you're not arriving at halftime and only stick around for an hour and leaving. You're getting something out of the weekend. So, and then obviously those 6 o'clock and 6:30 game times, those are slam dunks. Those are going to be some games where us talking about this on Tuesday before and after, we're going to know several players that are coming in those weekends. And I kind of wrote about it last night. It's in an upcoming article. The significance of the game day visits, it's increasing, for the next year's class. Nebraska has to work on getting those guys on campus 2 and 3 times this fall, because it kind of sets the groundwork for what happens, in the following spring, where you're trying to get in for a junior day, trying to get in for a spring practice, because you want to get them to set an official visit to see you either in April or June, because all those guys typically end up committing in that July timeframe. So your calendar has completely and totally changed. There's got to be an emphasis on 2026s and 2027s getting to campus multiple times this fall.
Awesome, Brian. Great stuff. Well, we have one more week to influence this Sanders thing. Okay, we get to talk one more time before he decides. We're at to fix this.
And I hope you're wrong.
Yeah, we hope you're wrong this time.
I hope I'm wrong too. It's just, I don't want to say anything about like, well, it's Nebraska and they need to win some more. I don't think that's what's holding Sanders back here. I think there's just a comfortability that he couldn't really kind of get into, and it's just because of lack of trips. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest things that stands in the way. Yeah. Well, we'll keep track it with you, and we'll keep track as you're putting all the great stuff out there with Husker Online. Brian, man, we appreciate your time, my friend. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Be good, guys. We'll see you. Thank you. Brian Muntz on HuskerOnline.com. Great stuff there. Let's take another break. We come back. Stories we missed and Olympics.
You're listening to the Morning Hookup with Bill Hooks and Will Wilson. More coming up.
Fantastic. 11 days till he announces. There's some good stories coming out that we missed.
Ooh.
Well, the one you were talking about, you had. I think that's cool.
Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, I left it.
Good, because it's my story.
That's what I did, see? It's my story.
My story, Hooks.
I agree there, Shane. It said if Dylan is a starter, like we all assume he would, he will be. Do you think Coach Rule and the offense will have some dedicated plays for Hardberg? Yes, absolutely. Yep. Short yardage instead of a fullback type deal.
Well, and they did a little bit of that towards the end of the season.
Yep.
Last year.
I think so. Just don't let him throw the football.
Oh,
sorry, that was mean.
Maybe some Navy triple option type stuff.
Oh boy, this place would fall apart. Been waiting for the option for years here.
Yeah, well, how do you stop the triple option? You don't.
Oh gosh.
Irresistible.
Basketball. Boy, I can't wait. We get an updated medal count too. Just make you happy, Will. Coming up. Oh no! Take it back. Never mind. Hate hitting refresh and results changing.
I know.
Makes me mad.
I just hate slow computers.
Welcome to our world.
It's 2024. Everything should be running smoothly.
You think? I was going to say that'd be wrong. No, I can't say that. No, what's been on the Not a big day of. I mean, there's always a big day of Olympics, not a big American type day.
No medals or anything.
Let me go back and look. I brought it up, and I don't. I've got it right here. I mean, there's some. It's not medal stuff that I'm seeing. Like we saw the men's basketball quarterfinals. Two of them already done.
Well, the U.S. basketball team.
Yeah, but it's not medal. I mean, it's good. I mean, yeah, we have that. There's some U.S. events. Golf starts tomorrow for the latest. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They go 3 rounds? 4. They go 4 now. Wednesday, Thursday,
They go
Friday,
4.
Saturday. Yes.
Yeah.
They just go a day earlier because the men were a Thursday to Sunday.
Is Nelly Korda going to get it done?
Back to backs? Why not? It's got to be the favorite. Let's go look. I have odds. Olympics golf right here.
Yeah, but look out for. I think
She's
in,
the favorite.
I think in girls golf it's a little more wide open.
Like the double the favorite. Like plus 400 over plus 850. Is that Lily Avu? Rose Zhang.
Rose Zhang is good.
3. She's about 6 best. She's tied for 5th. Best odds.
She's good.
She is good. So those are your. Oh, the fun stuff in here. Men's track and field. Man, you can bet on anything these days. I love this. Basketball. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'll bring. Welcome back in the morning hookup. Special thanks to both our guests from Husker Line, Robin Washit and Brian Munson. Olympians keep rolling, Will. They just keep rolling right along, man. It's gonna be sad when it's over because it's like the end, Like you have to wait for a couple years to get to the winter style of those things. You got men's basketball today coming up. I just saw it. Are you playing this? They're 26.5-point favorites over Brazil.
I don't know. Steve Kerr was apparently worried about this game.
Well, I do agree with Rob. They've been playing really well as a team. The defense has been a lot better. It's been defense. Been a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Canada and France. We also know Canada's got Dylan Brooks and a bunch of good dudes. They're favored by 8 against host country France today as well.
I'd probably take France.
I like
the points there.
I like the points in France for sure. So, good morning. You're on the morning hookup.
What up, dog?
What up, dog?
Dog.
My boy's out surfing. It's like 8 foot offshore now. That's kind of moved off a little bit off of Florida. So I don't know. Riptides galore.
You're not out with him?
No. I got to work, man. It's raining. My days of taking video and pictures of him, I leave it to the pros. No, I ain't doing that.
I ain't getting in that.
But no. And y'all were talking about teasing before, man. Y'all tease those programs great. I love it. And I realize why the phone is that issue. It has to do with Rob. and Rob, I got some advice for you. If you see a toilet in your dream, don't use it. Woo!
Poor Rob, man.
Yeah, Ernesto, that's so
Ernesto just will always go at him.
Always get it. Again, we got basketball going on. Women's volleyball, by the way. I believe it might be going on right now. It says 11 o'clock. I think that's Eastern. So 10 o'clock. They're playing Poland right now in the quarters. Again, like we mentioned, you've got men's basketball coming up around 2:30. And then beach volleyball, women's beach volleyball, 3 o'clock today. So there's a lot of good stuff going on.
What's the medal count?
Oh, well, I refreshed it. You would have been so happy.
You said you were going to bring it up. What the hell are you doing?
Well, before I refreshed, we were tied with gold medals.
Oh, now
we're down 1
to China.
Yeah, 22-21. We do lead the overall 79 medals.
All right.
Oh man,
it's all right.
You wanted to be in the lead there.
We'll be fine.
You sure?
Yeah,
Promise me?
we dominate track. We'll be good.
Okay.
Volleyball will win one. U.S. basketball will win one.
We should get both basketballs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
We should in that world. So, all right. Let's hit some stories that we missed.
The stories we miss. The Morning Hookup.
Mr. Worldwide
What is going on?
checking in for the remix. This is gonna sound fake. This is gonna sound like a fake headline, but I promise you it's true. We all remember Pitbull, right? The rapper,
Oh, yeah.
singer, Mr. Worldwide. He is getting into the naming rights business.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Is
And
that also NIL? Maybe if you say name right, NIL.
maybe Florida International,
FIU, baby.
FIU. They apparently were trying to find somebody to sponsor the naming rights of their stadium.
What, they lost their other ones?
I don't know if they ever
Oh.
had one. I don't know.
Okay.
But apparently, Pitbull is set to purchase the naming rights of their stadium.
Yeah.
Pitbull, the singer. This is true. This is real.
This will be the first of its kind. Didn't he's given some money, right? What's the dollar amount? They throw it in there?
Yeah, he's going to pay $1.2 million per year for 5 years.
Huh.
And, I guess there's some connections here. Florida International, they call him Mr. Worldwide. I guess there's something there. But also, they call him Mr. 305. That's the area code where the stadium is.
$6 million.
Yeah.
$6 million.
I think that's a great idea.
That's a great idea. First of its kind.
Yeah.
The world is ever changing for sure. Speaking of what's not changed in the baseball world, the White Sox did it. They extended their losing streak to 21 games. They're now tied with the 88 Orioles, the longest losing streak in American League history. They're 2 games away from tying the 1961 Phillies.
Which is the worst of all time.
23 games. 23 games.
Yeah, man.
23 games. Like, I feel like looking at it, if you're like a betting man or a betting person, that it's like you've played 21 hands of blackjack and you lost 21. Don't you just like go, come on?
Yeah.
It's got to change. I'm looking at what they got tonight. Let's see. I think they're still with the Athletics.
Yeah, they're still with the Athletics.
But I'm looking at the odds. Oh, yeah, the A's are like minus 200 to win.
I feel bad for him. I
You
really
get
do.
it it come off the board at like plus 180. Speaking of that, they're lost 21 straight. The Phillies have been the worst since the All-Star break.
And that's shocking.
The worst. They're like 4-15 or something, 4-16.
They were playing really good too before the All-Star break.
They were.
I don't know
just
what
fell
happened.
behind just a little bit. But again, this is the first time I think they've had a streak like this. I don't think it's panic, because the Braves and the Mets really haven't done much to close the gap. I mean, Braves are still 5.5 back, and the Mets are still 7. With that,
Madden NFL quarterback ratings are out. We can maybe get into this tomorrow.
Yeah.
if there's time. Patrick Mahomes, number 1, 99 overall.
Of course, he should be.
The worst starting quarterback, Will Levis, 72 overall.
All right, there you go. All right, tomorrow, Henry T. Buchanan, and we'll update some Husker stuff. Like I said, we've heard some murmurs. We'll see what happens. But you guys have a great Tuesday. Stay cool, man. It's so nice outside. Roll the windows down. We'll catch you on a hump day.